The value of time. In the heart of a bustling city, there was a man who lived his life on a tight schedule. His days were consumed with meetings, deadlines, and tasks, leaving him no time to pause. He believed that by working harder and faster, success would eventually follow. His mind was always on the next goal, the next task, or the next promotion. He kept telling himself that once he achieved enough, he would finally take a break and enjoy life. One evening, after a particularly exhausting day, he decided to take a walk in the park. Hoping for a little peace, he strolled along the paths. As he walked, he noticed an elderly man sitting calmly on a bench, tossing breadcrumbs to the birds that fluttered at his feet. There was a sense of peace in the old man's demeanor, an ease that stood in stark contrast to the young man's rushed and chaotic life. Unable to resist his curiosity, the young man approached the bench and sat beside the elderly gentleman. "How do you find time to sit here so peacefully?" he asked, "when everyone else is always so busy. Don't you ever feel like you need to be doing more?" The old man smiled as if he had been asked this question many times before. "Let me tell you a story," the elderly man replied. "It might help you see things from a different perspective." The young man leaned in, intrigued, as the old man began his tale. In a small village, there was a farmer who worked harder than anyone else. Every morning, he was out in his fields, planting and harvesting. He believed that the harder he worked, the more wealth he would earn, and the more secure his future would be. And indeed, the farmer's hard work paid off. He grew more crops than any of his neighbors, and his wealth began to pile up. But instead of taking a break to enjoy what he had earned, he kept working, always telling himself, "Just a little more, and then I can finally rest." Years passed, and the farmer grew old. He had spent his entire life working without pause, always chasing the promise of one day. But now, on his deathbed, as he looked around at the chest of wealth he had accumulated, a deep sadness settled over him. He realized that while chasing success, he had missed the very moments that make life beautiful. Time had slipped through his fingers, and no amount of money could buy it back. The elderly man paused, letting the message sink in. The farmer's mistake, he continued, was not working hard. Hard work is admirable, but he forgot that time is the most precious treasure. If he had taken moments to enjoy the simple pleasures along the way, his life would have been much richer. The young man sat in silence, reflecting on the story. It struck a chord deep within him. He thanked the elderly man sincerely and left the park, his heart lighter and his mind clearer. From that day forward, the young man began to live differently. He still worked hard, but he also made space for moments of joy. He spent more time with family and friends, embraced moments of stillness, and found pleasure in life's little things. He discovered that, paradoxically, when he stopped chasing after success so relentlessly, he became more productive at work. His days were now balanced with moments of relaxation, connection, and contentment. This story reminds us that while ambition and hard work are important, they must be balanced with moments of rest, joy, and connection. Life isn't just about achieving more or reaching the next milestone. It's about savoring the journey along the way. Time is a treasure that cannot be bought back, and true success lies not in accumulating wealth or accomplishments, but in living fully and mindfully. We must remember to pause, cherish the present, and find fulfillment in the simple moments. Because in the end, it's these moments that make a life well lived. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Value your time.